on. And, in the recent news flow, what we had seen that the B2B business procurement place, marketplace, that is ProcMart, has actually raised $30 million. Now, there were some of these important names that came in. We had one of the names like Fundamentum Partnership also, who is invested in this. So, yes, we'll bring on board Prateek Jain, who is the principal at the Fundamentum Partnership, joining in with us. Thank you so much, Prateek, for joining in with us this evening on ET Now. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm going to start by talking about this recent investment that you've made in, $30 million in ProcMart. And, how is that looking like? What was the ethos behind that? As well as, in terms of your any recent investments, do talk to us about that as well.
As you know, Fundamentum is a Series B mid-stage growth equity fund. We invest in companies which have identified a product market fit and looking to kind of scale up from there. We are a $250 million fund, and we have recently invested in a company called ProcMart, which is a B2B commerce company specializing in MRO space. The idea to invest in this company is that we see a lot of digitization happening in procurement of large enterprises, and this company was very well fitted to that thesis. This company works with large global companies like HUL, Mondelez, P&G, and helps them digitize, helps them kind of consolidate their vendors in the long tail spend of MRO, packaging, biofuels, etc. The company has been profitable for the last 3-4 years and has been on a very good growth journey. And that's what excited us at Fundamentum to invest in them. They look like the right candidate for us to invest and take them in the scale-up journey, which is our vision at Fundamentum. Other than ProcMart, we've also invested in a company called Kuku FM, which is a long-form audio platform based out of India, and a company called Wishlink, which is a platform for helping creators and influencers to connect with brands and e-commerce companies. So these are the 3 investments that we have made out of this fund for us.
Prateek, what we all also want to understand a bit more is the strategy that you follow at Fundamentum Partnership. How do you decide on the check size, how the companies that you actually look at in terms of what sector, segments, what is it that you look at?
Absolutely. So at Fundamentum, our strategy is to kind of plug the gap that exists in Indian VC ecosystem at the mid-growth stage. We feel that there is a big gap in the ecosystem where a fund like ours would come in with anywhere between $15 to $30 million check. There's a lot of early stage activity in the country, and there has been a lack of late stage activity in the past couple of years. So that makes our role and our need in the VC ecosystem far more stark. And that's the way we want to come in. We want to come in at a mid-growth stage, which is once the company has identified a product market fit or established unit economics in a particular vertical in e-commerce or B2B, and are looking to raise money to now scale up. That could be to scale up their sales team, scale up brand marketing, scale up from one city to multiple cities, is when we want to come in. This is also true for software companies which have identified a area and they have some early successes in global markets and now want to scale up their sales team and kind of blitz scale from like $5 to $50 million. That is where we want to come in. Our typical check size is about $10 million. And we have a very concentrated portfolio approach. So idea is to kind of not take too many bets, but big stocks or big companies and be very, very closely working with them. The founders of the fund are Nandan Nilekani, Sanjeev Agrawal, Ashish Kumar, who come with a very, deep experience in the startup ecosystem, in building great scaled up companies. And that's where we want to kind of put money as well as our attention to help founders scale up their startups to become an organization or an institution that outlast all of us.
Prateek, finally seems like, at least overall when you look at it, startup funding has just recently witnessed a bit of a resurgence in the last quarter. So what is your thought there? What is it looking like on ground currently, if you could talk to us about that?
I think this current year is where the new, I would say, is at the normal level. Obviously, the 2021-22 activity in the startup funding, was very, very high. But I think this is what a normal scale would look like. So I think a lot of VCs sitting on a lot of dry powder, eager to kind of invest in companies. I think there'll be still some time where there could be a valuation to performance mismatch And there are various companies at a scale where they need far more money to kind of establish unit economics, but their valuations would be much higher. So I think there'll be some corrections, but companies which have established unit economics, who have a very frugal mindset and who have not raised too much money at very high valuations, will be something that VCs like us would be very, very keen to partner with. I think days are gone, at least it's not something that we are excited about right now, where a company comes to us and says that they'll need to kind of have another $100 million to $200 million to come to profitability. I think far more questions are being asked on when will you become profitable, how fast can you become profitable, how frugally can you become profitable. But there is enough scope for companies to come in and show positive unit economics and then raise a certain amount of money and then look for profitability. But as of now, I think if you are raising too much money to become profitable, that is something would be difficult to kind of raise money for. But overall, I think very positive sentiments in the space, both on the consumer side as well as software side, and it's very evident from the fact that the activity in terms of the funding rounds announcement has been happening, and a lot of activity both on the startup early stage is also kind of very.
Any other interesting company that you're looking at right now?
Right. So if you look at our thesis, we have two theses that we kind of follow largely. One is on the consumer space, which is backing the whole consumption-led economy of India. Now we are looking at tech-enabled or consumer tech commerce businesses largely, which is where our Kuku FM or Wishlink or Spinny or PharmEasy kind of lie. And then the second part of our thesis is investing in companies which are building deep tech, software solutions, SaaS solutions from India for the world, right? And we think that there is a lot of talent in India around all of these things, and India could be a great place to build and sell to the world, both from a high quality product as well as a great talent available at a cheaper price, right? So these are the two large segments that we kind of follow, and that is what our pipeline looks like today. We have also started investing in financial services, which we did not invest in the fund one. So now we're also actively looking at financial services and fintech, because we feel that India is still very, very early days in terms of penetration of financial services, lending, insurance, wealth products. So all of those are also something that we are very keenly looking for. And we have now completely focused person and a team on especially looking at fintech and financial services companies. So these are the three large, I would say, sectors that we are looking at, and overall filter that we have chosen is Series B and growth stage. So coming in at with a $10 to $15 million check and investing in a growth stage, mid growth stage kind of scheme.
And Prateek, lastly, I just want to know how much involvement is there by Nandan Nilekani. What are the thought processes and involvement that he gives in terms of the world of startup to you?
He is the I think anchor investor in the fund, as well as very, very closely involved both during the process of investing. He is our final say in terms of the investment committee, and we take every deal to him. But he's also very involved post investment in the company, right? Where his inputs and high impact items in the company can really move the needle. So he does a quarterly check-ins with our founders on how things are going, what are the key items that needs to be kind of taken care of, where should be the strategic focus should be of the company be like. And I think he's one of those guys who kind of has a very, very keen eye on detail on all of these things, and has an eye on what is happening in the Indian tech ecosystem via, whether the technology intervention of digital public goods in the financial services or UPI or the Aadhaar stack and things like that. So I think his input is very, very important, and is quite involved with the company, working with the founders on helping them kind of unlock some of these value for them.
Prateek, thank you so much for joining in with us, talking to us about everything from the fundings, the portfolios, companies that are looking interesting. Thank you so much, Prateek, for joining in with us today on Startup Central. But